Hello everybody, my name is Lee. I'm with the Best Top marketing team, and today we're going to walk through the installation of a Sunrider for Hardtop on your Jeep JK Wrangler. This is going to span the years 2007 to 2018. The install will be the same for a 2-door or a 4-door, and it'll also be the same from black diamond to the twill material. This will take you about 30 to 45 minutes, so come along with us. All right, on the table in front of me here, you'll find all the parts that we're going to use for the install of the Sunrider for Hardtop, and it's a really good idea to open up the box and make sure that you have everything and keep everything organized for the install. So what you'll find are 2 door surrounds, 4 of these knobs that we will use to hold the door surrounds to the Jeep, 6 of these T30 Torx screws, 2 of these brackets that hold the rear of the Sunrider to the hardtop. The main unit is right here next to me. This comes fully assembled out of the box and just ready to attach to the Jeep with these parts. So we're going to start walking through these now. All right, now one thing we're going to have to do before we begin the installation of the Sunrider for Hardtop is remove your factory freedom panels. So follow the instructions that you'll find in your Jeep's owner's manual. It's a very simple process. It should take you about 5 minutes. And when you do that, you're going to wind up with these 2 knobs. Retain these. We're going to use these on the install of the Sunrider for Hardtop. We're starting with the freedom panels off of this Jeep. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to clean the top of the hardtop where it mates up with the Sunrider for Hardtop, and there's also a channel up at the top of the windshield. We're going to give both of those a quick wipe down. Next, we're going to grab the driver's side door surround, and the way this is going to orient, we'll have the Best Top logo to the rear, and we will have the C-clamp to the front. So this will align right on this top roll bar around here, and you'll notice on a 4-door Jeep, we're going to have a spot cleared out for that C-clamp right in the front, and in the 2-door, you'll also have a spot cleared out for it in the rear. But in the 4-door, we're going to have to make a small hole. So you can feel the hole on the top and bottom of the sport bar up here. And right behind this impact foam protection, you can feel the same hole right on the top and bottom of the roll bar. So we'll take a utility knife, something like this, and we're just going to make a small X or a hole on the bottom and on the top so that when we use this knob, it's going to go right through that roll bar padding. That's what we want in the end. Next, we're going to take the door surround and we're going to affix it to the Jeep using only the front knob for now. You'll grab the door surround in your hand here and notice a few things. We're going to have some foam padding on the bottom, and we're also going to have some foam padding in a couple key locations on the door surround itself. This is not packaging material. This is water management. It's built to create a seal, so leave that intact where it is. Don't try to peel it off or anything. And you'll also find what we call a mucket near the front of the sport bar here and just behind the windshield. This little boot you want to be aware of on the front and on the rear, and don't collapse it when you're putting the door surround on. The door surround should sit nicely inside of it. Then we'll grab the front knob. All the knobs are the same, but we'll use it in the front. And we'll come down from the top and we'll just get this started. Don't tighten it all the way. If you're having trouble locating the bottom, you can always look up and make sure that you have the holes oriented correctly and you are making contact with the threads. So just leave that a little bit loose for now. Now that we have the door surround secured partially on the driver's side, we're going to do the same thing on the passenger side. The next thing we're going to do is take the main Sunrider for Hardtop assembly and we're going to put it on the top of the Jeep. So one thing is grab a friend so you don't injure this or yourself or your Jeep. Another thing is make sure you have it oriented correctly. The way I have it right now, I'm going to pass it up and over, and Rick is going to grab it on the other side and we're going to just set it down into place. All right, thanks, Rick. The next step we're going to do here is we'll take the other knob and we'll secure, we're going to go down through the Sunrider for Hardtop and into the door surround that's on the bottom of the door. The knob is about this long, so occasionally you will have to either press down on this or press up on the bottom of the door surround to be able to engage the threads. Also, recall that we're going to be going through the material here, so if you find that it's difficult to go through the material, There's no harm in just lining things up. This is not rocket science, but it can be a little tricky. I can feel the threads are in now. And that's all there is to it. And we'll repeat those steps on the other side. All right, we'll grab the two knobs that we took out of the Jeep when we removed the Freedom panels, and we're gonna reuse those right in the same location now on the Sunrider for hardtop. The easiest way to do this is sit in the seat with it reclined a bit, and if you're having trouble getting the threads to engage, just give a visual look up through the hole and make sure everything's aligned. With the Sunrider for hardtop still a little loose right now, you can reposition it if you need to. All right, next we're gonna grab two of these torque screws and we're gonna insert these up through the back end of the door surround here. And when you're starting the screw, make sure that you're starting it cleanly and that it doesn't cross thread. If it does start to cross thread, or if you're finding it difficult to start the threads to bite, hopefully we've kept the door surround and the Sunrider for hardtop still a little loose at this point. You should still be able to make some adjustments if you need to. All right, don't forget the other side of the Jeep. We're getting pretty close to finishing up and we're running out of parts here. So just grab these two brackets that you have, along with these four M6 flinged button head screws that you have left in your pack, and we'll put this on in each area. Now this is going to be installed as such right inside, and we'll show you now. This bracket will be installed so that the foam part presses up against the white of the hardtop and that the two holes positioned underneath the two holes respective in the Sunrider for hardtop assembly. So the easiest way to get this started is put one of the screws through the bracket, line it up, and get that screw started. We'll start that second screw by hand as well. Then grab your T30 driver. Bring it home. And now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now you should have all of the hardware installed. The Sunrider for hardtop should be on the Jeep. We're gonna walk around and we're gonna tighten all the hardware that we left a little bit loose so that we could adjust. Mainly these 6 knobs. You have 4 of the door surround knobs and the 2 knobs that were retained from the Freedom panels. We'll go around and tighten all those and any other hardware that you left loose during the installation. All right, we've got a couple things to button up left before we can go full sun riding. Right now, we're gonna hop in the Jeep, we're gonna close the Sunrider, and we're gonna latch it, and I'm gonna walk you through how those latches work. To get the Sunrider closed, I'm gonna reach back just with the flat 4 fingers and put my hand underneath the header to fold it forward. And when you do so, we're gonna find the hook and the latch. And you'll notice that the further away you bring the latch, the lower the hook drops down. The closer they get them together, the more the hook comes up. So we'll separate the two, and we'll secure the latch like that. Now your first couple times latching this, it's gonna be a little tighter and a little stiffer, but it'll loosen up with time so that you don't have to use 2 hands as much. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. As the Sunrider for hardtop is breaking in, you may run into the scenario where you release the latch and the hook doesn't fall from the footman loop. In this case, remember 2 things. Number 1, the further apart you move the latch from the hook, the lower the hook will drop down, and that will often free it from the footman loop. Or if that still doesn't free it, you can push down gently on the header. Once you have the 2 hooks free, open just by pushing back on the header. That's all there is to it. A Couple things to note as we're finishing up here is the space between the front of the header and the windshield frame. And you're going to see this rubber gasket. You should see that rubber gasket. This is coming to exactly the right place. So if yours looks like this, it is perfect. There is no forward to rearward adjustment of where the Sunrider will sit on the Jeep. So you should see the gasket just as you see it here. And that aids in water management. And then we're going to come to the back here as well. We have a seal on the back of the Sunrider for hardtop that mates up with the hardtop itself. Now the hardtops came in a few different configurations from Jeep, so sometimes you'll be able to tuck this in, sometimes you will not. Just make sure that it fills the channel and it forms a good seal between the two. All right guys, that about wraps up the installation of the Sunrider for hardtop on this Jeep JK. Hopefully yours went just as smoothly. If you have any questions during your install, you can reach out to our customer service team. Thanks for watching. Have a great day on the trail.